Hey world, this is it, the most driven podcast on the radio. Welcome to The Driven, a podcast brought to you by the kick-ass nutrition science team at mDrive. mDrive is all you need and all you need to know in the world of more energy, more focus, more stamina, and more drive. I'm your host, Rick Baraff, longtime ultra-endurance athlete and mDrive ambassador. We're going to talk it up with a wealth of amazing, passionate, dedicated, and driven guys in all walks of life. So get ready to be motivated and inspired. It's The Driven Podcast. 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, my name is Rick Baraff. We are out here with my friend Mike Crum. Mike is a pretty amazing guy all around, but he happens to be one of the world's best vert skaters. Was for a long period of time. We are actually at his place at 4 Down Skate Park in Dallas, Texas, where he's going to tell you about all kinds of stuff from skating to activism to just how to keep yourself going at our ripe old ages. Speaking of that, I am 50 years old now, and now it's your turn. How old are you?
48.
48.
It almost hurts to say that because in my head I feel like I'm younger, and you know it's a mental thing for sure when you're still being active and trying to do young stuff for sure.
Of course. But you're from here in Dallas?
Yeah, from Dallas. Grew up in Dallas. I got sponsored skating at a pretty young age. Started skating in the low to mid 80s and got kind of good. And there wasn't too many like young guys back then. So when I was like 12, I was doing airs and inverts and got sponsored at a pretty young age and just fell in love with skating. Like I felt like I found my people, the diversity, not that there was like, oh, no rules, but just kind of everyone had their own style and did it their own way, and had some older guys take me in, and I turned pro when I was like 16 years old. Got on homeschool because I had to travel so much. There was a big boom in the 80s for skating, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, sure. Turned pro at 16 and just took off from there.
Right on. There was just something magical about the time period and the place that you just kind of stumbled onto.
Yeah.
Tell me about that community, that energy that was there.
So I was lucky enough, a lot of people might live in different towns where skating wasn't that big back then, but I grew up in Dallas and they had this infamous place called Skate Time, and they had this ramp called the Clown Ramp. And so the first time I ever saw skateboarding, I saw some of the best pros in the world. Craig Johnson, Jeff Phillips, Dan Wilkes, and I was just blown away. We went to actually get my brother a skateboard. And I was sitting, and I begged my mom, like, please give me one too. So,
were those guys actual pros at the time?
Oh yeah, they were. Like so Jeff Phillips was rivaling Tony Hawk back then.
Wow.
When Tony he beat Tony Hawk, Tony Hawk beat him. Jeff was just, he was a beast on a skateboard.
So back to you. So tell me about that. Again, I can see the allure. People. I think you cited, Marty McFly and Back to the Future.
Yeah.
But more than that, we can talk about that in a sec. But just like there was an allure there. I mean, so how did you kind of get over that first hurdle? Like you see these pro guys and. Tell me about like just getting up and getting going.
I think I had a lot of energy as a kid and always like not getting into trouble, but just always jumping creeks or just whatever, just being little boys, and had a crazy group of friends. And then skateboarding fit kind of my energy, I think, at the time. And I just loved all the different people who did it, like just from all different walks of life, different neighborhoods, and we all joined together and we're like a little army of not misfit kids, but just kids who just enjoyed progressing in life with something, And now that I have a daughter and I look back at that, I'm just so lucky I had that, because kids struggle with finding themselves, at a young age and having something they're into,
Okay, so obviously we've established that you turned professional at a very young age, and you got your skateboard at 11. What was that? What's that? I mean, literally, it's a curve, on a vert ramp.
Yeah.
But kind of just talk about a little bit about that curve. Like, what was your, were you inspired by something beyond seeing these pros? Like, what inside you made you say, yeah, I want to pursue this?
Just the way it felt. I just remember the first time, just the pump on the ramp and the noise and the way the wheels felt. Like, I think about it now or see old pictures, it still gives me chills and gets butterflies in my stomach, It's just something, I just feel like I found what I loved at a young age.
Cool. Tell me about any training. I mean, do you have training? I mean, I know it's fun out there, but like when was it like you're like, well, okay, am I going to make this transition to being pro, or am I just going to keep at it? How do you keep at it?
I think just having these guys who already not had the blueprint for it, but they were already doing it, and me just jumping in and not being, you know, too shy about it and skating with all the older guys really motivated me. And I just was, I don't say I was naturally gifted at it, I guess in a way I was, but it was just, I mean, that's all I wanted to do. Cool. Skate in the middle of the summer, skate, learn a trick. And I was just learning tricks constantly. And obviously getting sponsored at a young age kind of directs you towards somewhat of a career for it, you know?
Sure. And then once you did turn pro, did you actually have to train? What were you doing when you were
It's weird about skating. It's not like we had coaches back then or anything, and everyone, like I said, kind of had their own style. There's not really rules in skateboarding. It's like, you know, having a good style, making it look easy, being powerful is like kind of a great combination to have. And, you know, when then you start doing contests and, you know, you start getting judged and, I mean, they had a whole circuit. I would go to Europe every summer from like, I think it was like 91 all the way up to the mid 2000s. We just go to Europe and do that. So I got introduced to some cool stuff at a young age.
Cool.
Sure.
And were you, I mean, you are, you know, X Games legend, let's say.
Yeah, first generation
X Games. Were you actually in the first one?
Yeah,
or
very first one. So skateboarding kind of goes in waves, you know, the 80s, and then in the early 90s, it really crashed. Like it just turned into, and skateboarding, my type of skateboarding changed too. Started being more street, you know, going on the streets, skating downtown, and wheels got small, boards got small. So I was still young, so a lot of the older pros kind of disappeared, you know, but I was still like 16, 17 and still wanted to do it. So that's kind of when the technical side of skateboarding was in. It was always technical, but kind of the street style on vert. Me and a few guys took that and started doing that on vert. But then I think it was 95 was the first X Games. So we went from making decent money when I first turned pro to literally skating in warehouses and backyard ramps. Oh, I got third place. Oh, I won $150. So it was pretty funny, but we loved it so much, you know. That's all we knew and that's all we did. And then X Games came around and we had no idea what to expect. I mean, there was rock climbers, there was guys jumping out of airplanes on snowboards, you know, just all this crazy stuff. And that's when the public started getting more kind of interested, you know, more commercial.
Right, yeah.
So
TV and MTV and all
like
that.
97, skateboarding was huge. It was on every TV show. It was insane. So I had a kind of like the old generation and the new generation kind of combined. So
I guess it kind of parallels Tony Hawk's ascent as well.
Totally. I watched all that stuff in person go down, and it was just magical.
Well, what's cool is, I mean, you're buddies with Tony, which is pretty awesome because of all your history skating together.
Yeah.
First of all, did you ever beat him?
He got knocked out once in England, and I beat him.
All right. It counts.
I got second place, but I think it was his first run. It was like in the dark ages of skating where we're still just traveling and probably losing money when we traveled back then, but you know, and he got fully knocked out and couldn't take the rest of his runs.
Oh man,
I beat him in that.
Cool. Now, what is it about Tony? I mean, he's obviously iconic across any sport, just about. I mean, people would literally put him as one of the top athletes, period, not just skaters. Is there something? I mean, you know him enough that you know. Was there something that just drove him extra hard, or what was it about Tony
I mean, obviously, I wasn't there for like his beginning stages, you know, of skating. And just after watching that documentary he just had, Till the Wheels Fall Off, I don't know if you've seen it. It is just the drive that this man has, and still has. It's just amazing. He just always wanted to progress, you know, just go. And I mean, he is the perfect spokesperson, perfect hero of our sport for sure.
Cool.
Guy
so he just
unbelievable.
He has that passion, that drive. Because you know, skaters seem pretty cool. He seems pretty mellow. But,
I mean, there's older skaters that still rip and do stuff, but like literally, and like he's still just progressing and treating it not just as it's a fun little hobby. I want to go out there. Like he is still slamming it. What is it, 54 now, something like that? You know, like he is a definite inspiration to us older guys still skating.
All right, now talking about inspiration, as I said, we're sitting here at your skate park.
Yes.
which is pretty awesome. What you have built here is just incredible. I'm happy to have, you know, been here for part of it so far. Obviously, I'm sure when you're 11-year-old, you didn't even dream of this. I mean, maybe you own...
you definitely dreamed about all of my house, all the skate stuff and all that,
Sure, but not a non-profit skate park.
Yeah.
So just a little bit of the origin of this place.
Well, I mean, I moved back to Dallas in 2008, and me as a vert skater, there was no vert ramp here, and me and my buddies decided to get a warehouse and just kind of do it as a private thing. You know, get our own vert ramp, have a place for us to skate, and then it kind of went into us, you know, it almost felt like everyone needed it as much as we did. You know what I mean? A little sanctuary, and then we started opening the doors more, and, you know, and kids were taking the train down. We kind of started as a, you know, $5 to come skate the park every now and then, and we were helping these kids out anyway. They had broken boards, so we were just giving, and it just made sense for us to become a nonprofit and just kind of open the doors to everyone through just skating in the beginning. And Dallas really doesn't have a proper public skate park, which is insane because every city has multi-million-dollar parks. Like all in the suburbs outside of Dallas they do, but not proper Dallas. And then partnered up with co-founder Rob Cahill came in right when we changed to Four Down to be a nonprofit, and we just were kind of bounce ideas off of each other, and it's organically changed into this magical community-driven place that just so much more than skateboarding. You know, skateboarding being the heart of it, you know, and the focal point, especially in the beginning. But we learned as skateboarders, you know, to go farther in life, it just seems like you always want to do more, and that means doing more for the community, doing more for yourself, doing more for your friends, doing more for the environment, and we just kind of live by those rules.
Cool. Now, you know, you're not only the you know, suit and tie wearing executive director here. You're actually you're like the foreman. You're like the gardener. You're like the trash guy.
Yeah, I've learned so much stuff that I never thought I would learn, and actually didn't want to learn. Like, you know, I'm not the best tool guy, but I'm doing stuff that I didn't. You know, I never. Not that I didn't ever have like a job, but I started getting paid for skateboarding when I was 16 years old. So that's kind of all I knew.
That's your job.
So being so passionate, but it doesn't feel like work because we're all so passionate about what we do. You know, and that's a key to life, you know, and what you do.
How do you, what's the inspiration keeping it going?
Just remembering now having a daughter, and I guess I didn't notice at the time, just a sense of belonging and purpose in life that I got through skating and having this awesome community, family, I guess you would say, just seeing these kids, just looking back, remembering myself and seeing myself in a lot of these kids, and just how much they can do for their confidence, for just everything, learning in life, falling down, getting up, not, you know, and expressing yourself through skating, and then hooking up with these other local nonprofits have just changed my whole outlook on life and what's important. You know, I didn't grow up underprivileged or anything like that, but always had, you know, empathy, and I understood how that can happen to certain people when it shouldn't, you know, and it's just amazing that all these organizations coming together for the better.
And it seems to have gotten you skating again. I mean, you're out here a lot.
And construction and all this stuff has calmed down. So now we're really able to focus, you know, on yourselves and how you feel. And then once you help yourself, you feel like you can, you know, that's the best stage of being able to help our others, to be honest. I think you can't be a mess and all that. Not that like we're doing, so amazing here and all that, but it's it's just great, and everyone we work with and everyone who helps us is just in it for the right reasons.
Awesome. Well, again, I've done lots of crazy things, but I'm actually not a skateboarder. So I thought we might do kind of a little speed round to get, you know, some folks up to speed on, you know, some stuff. So let's see if you know the answer to some of these.
Oh, Lord.
What is a backside disaster?
Backside disaster. So backside on a ramp is when you turn and your back is facing the coping or the wall Front side is when you turn and your face, your front's facing. So a backside disaster is when you turn backside and you land on the middle of your board. So you got your front wheels on one side and you got your back wheels up on the deck, and you got to pop back in.
Okay.
So reason it's called a disaster because a lot of things can go wrong before people knew how to like hop in. Yes, there you go.
You know, that's probably one of the funnest things about skateboarding is all the names. You get to name things. You
really,
make it up.
Tony Hawk made up so many amazing names.
I was looking some of that stuff up there. You know, there's half cab broken fingers. You know, I don't know if you're not really the street guy. I know that's more of the street.
I've never heard of half cab. I know what half cab.
I don't know. Half cab broken finger. I looked it up. You can watch. You know, just Google
you
these things.
Fact check that one.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about vert stuff. I read this. You know, a fakie to fakie stalefish 540.
A fakie to fakie stalefish 540. Yes, you go up. There's a Caballero, which made up a trick. That's a fakie 360 air that Steve Caballero made up.
Of course.
A stalefish is when you grab back here with your backhand, depending on which way you ride.
Grab behind.
So you do it. You go fakie. You do a fakie cab 360. Grab stalefish, and there's one more 180 in it.
One more. Wow.
And you end up going. So you go backwards, and you end up landing backwards.
Wow.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense when you watch it.
So the rotation is 540, basically.
Cool. Gotcha. All right. I'm going to try it tomorrow. All right. One more. This is probably an easier one for you. Shove it frontside nose grind.
The shove it frontside nose grind, that's more street orientated. Shove it is when your board turns 180, but your body stays the same.
Gotcha.
Front side's turning that way. It's coming out from your front.
Yeah.
And the nose grind is when you land on your front truck.
Okay.
And you grind. So you combine those together, front side shove it, land in a grind, and pop out.
Boom. Because you needed to know. Now we're all pro.
See, anyone can do it now, right?
Now we're all pro skateboarders. Cool. All right. So, you know, we're trying to get a couple questions we're going to ask all of our guests here. So tell me about the accomplishment that you're most proud of.
Just having my daughter, for sure. I mean, just seeing her empathy and with other people and her kindness is just amazing. You know, she's my little red who I love dearly, and just being able to share how I value things in life and seeing her understand it at such a young age is great.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah,
that's beautiful. Yeah,
and building. You know, if you talk about like business compliments and stuff. I mean, I think where we're at right now is, to be honest, because I mean, we've put so much hard work. There's been so many dark times of how are we going to raise the money to do this, and we just stuck with it because it felt right. You know,
it's
and
hard. It's hard work.
We have come a long way, and it seems like people are jumping in with us, and the people who are jumping in with us are the right people.
Right on. This is maybe similar, but you know, what's a situation or an incident that maybe changed your perspective on what you're capable of?
Meeting all these different organizations and people from South Dallas who have been doing this for years and not getting any shine that they deserve for it, and doing it because they know it's the right thing to do and the right people to help, and working with them, man, it's amazing.
Cool, right on. You dish it out all the time, but you know, some inspiration or advice to others to help them keep it rolling and keep pushing and keep driving.
I think at our age, you just got to keep on moving. You know, like seriously, if I don't skate for 2 weeks, I feel like I have to start over. Especially if I'm not active doing something else.
Right on.
You know what I mean? You know, and definitely it's a mental thing at our age. You know, the fear of it. So the more you do it, the more comfortable you with. I mean, you got to move it or lose it, right?
That's true. That's true.
Seriously,
move it or lose it.
It's a true thing, and just you know. Don't overindulge in stuff, and you know, which is easy to do. And it's easier to do things for the instant gratification of stuff, but that's not going to make you happy. You know, you got to work for stuff that makes you happy, for sure.
Wow.
You know, it kind of sucks going through the process because, you know, like what you're waking up at 4 a.m. these days, right?
You know, you got to do it sometimes to you know, when you have young kids or when you have stuff you need to get accomplished. You know, sometimes. And
just staying true to yourself, you know, in your beliefs, because you know, you can fake some stuff, but you know your thoughts and how you feel about everything. in your head. So yeah. If that makes any sense.
Absolutely. I think we're going to give you a new name, the Sage of South Dallas now.
Okay, there you go.
That's some good stuff. That's some good advice. All right, well, cool. There you have it. That's our podcast for today, the Driven Podcast, featuring one and only Mike Crum at this beautiful 4Down Project skate park here. And yeah, like I said, you can see all this. He's literally growing stuff, growing community. And yeah, that's what we're doing here with the Driven. So we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Thanks, Rick.
Right on.